You're not going to believe what we've got today, so sit down, hit that like button, and let's get right into it. In Foxborough, this week started with a punch nobody wanted, and now the margin for error feels like it just vanished. There's one detail from practice that could be a sign of trouble, or a sign of a plan getting set up for Sunday night. While Patriots Nation is split between confidence and pure anxiety, a new face just showed up with a direct connection to the heartbeat of this team, and yes, Matthew Judon is suddenly back in the conversation. Because after that loss to the Bills, it's not just bounce back talk. That wasn't a normal stumble. That felt like a warning flare. You watched a lead slip away, you watched the offense lose its spark, and you watched a 10-game win streak turn into something you can't lean on anymore. And the NFL doesn't give you time to process it. It demands answers immediately. The next snap is always coming. Now, before we even get to Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, there's a piece of this week that has people on edge. Wednesday's practice report brought a list of defensive absences that is simply too big to ignore. Sure, it's late season. It's week 16. Veteran management is real. Mike Vrabel could absolutely be protecting bodies and keeping guys fresh for the biggest reps. But it can also mean something else. If some of those starters can't go, the job in Baltimore gets a whole lot uglier. And let's be honest, after what we saw in the second half against Buffalo, any missing piece matters. Against Lamar, one wrong step becomes a 20-yard scramble. One late exchange in coverage becomes a short throw that turns into an explosive play. And Derrick Henry doesn't just run, he drains you. He turns 2nd and 6 into 3rd and 2, and once you're living in 3rd and short, the Ravens can play their entire menu. Play action, boots, misdirection, the whole thing. So New England needs two things at once: health and discipline. Health, so you can get as many starters on the field as possible. Discipline, so the defense doesn't fall into the "I'll fix this myself" trap, where one guy abandons his gap trying to be a hero and suddenly there's daylight. This game is going to test communication, tackling angles, edge contain, and patience. Because Baltimore wants to wear you down, trap you in long drives, and then, before you know it, the clock is your enemy. And here's the bigger strategic layer that separates a good season from a truly dangerous one. Yes, the Patriots still have the edge over Buffalo in the standings, but protecting that cushion isn't just pride, it's seeding, it's leverage. It's a path that can give you home field energy and a cleaner route in January. Lose that advantage, and suddenly everything gets harder. Matchups get nastier, travel gets heavier, there's no hiding. And while Patriots Nation is spiraling about injuries, the team quietly made a move behind the scenes so they're not caught empty-handed. It didn't dominate the national cycle, but it matters in December. Because the way you handle depth right now can decide whether your season lives or dies later. While everyone was staring at the practice sheet, New England went to work off camera. The Patriots added linebacker Amari to the practice squad, one of those under-the-radar moves that looks small until you remember what time of year it is. This isn't September. This is the part of the season where you're one bad tweak away from a roster emergency, and the smart teams are the ones who prepare before disaster strikes. Gaynor isn't just a random name being thrown into the system. He brings size, physicality, and versatility, traits this organization has always valued. He's a linebacker who's shown he can attack gaps, disrupt plays, and hold up when the game gets muddy. And then there's the detail that makes this even more interesting. He spent time at North Carolina as a teammate of Drake Maye. That's familiarity. That's shared language. That's trust. In a week where everything feels chaotic, that kind of connection can cut through the noise fast. Now let me be clear. This doesn't mean the Patriots are suddenly desperate at linebacker. If anything, the position group has been one of the deeper parts of the roster. But that's exactly why this move matters. It strengthens the base. It keeps competition alive. It gives the staff another body to run intense reps without sacrificing the structure of the game plan. And if a starter can't suit up, you want someone who can step in without forcing you to reinvent the defense at the worst possible time. Put that together with the recent addition of Chad Muma, and you see the message. Vrabel wants options. Vrabel wants flexibility. Vrabel wants to control chaos. Because he knows what's coming next, doesn't forgive sloppy planning. And as smart as that is, it still doesn't prepare your heart for the next part of today. Because the next name brings the past crashing into the present. Some names in Foxborough don't need a long explanation. You say them, and the memory does the rest. Big moments, big games, that feeling of security only certain players can give you. And that's exactly what happens when Matthew Judon suddenly becomes a real topic again. Now, this isn't a guarantee. This isn't a done deal. But it's real enough to make Patriots Nation stop everything and start imagining it. Judon isn't just a former Patriot. He was the face of defensive aggression for this franchise. The guy you expected to change a game when the moment got tight, 3rd and long. You knew he'd be a factor, a must-have stop. He'd be in the middle of it. When he arrived in 2021, the defense gained an identity immediately. Production, leadership, energy. And in 2022, he hit that peak. The sack numbers, the pressure, the way he made quarterbacks uncomfortable from the first quarter to the last. He didn't just collect stats, he created fear. And fear changes game plans. Fear changes protections. Fear changes how fast an offense is willing to let routes develop. The injury that shortened his 2023 season disrupted that rhythm, but it didn't erase the impact. If anything, his absence made it louder. You could feel the pass rush lose its edge. You could feel offenses breathe easier. When Judon wasn't there, the respect wasn't the same. He didn't just chase sacks, he tilted the field. So now, with the possibility of him being available, the discussion goes beyond nostalgia. It becomes strategic. Yes, New England has pass rushers. Yes, there's depth, but there's also youth. There's development still happening. And this is where a player like Judon can matter even if he's not asked to be the entire show. He can be a catalyst. He can be a teacher. He can be a presence that forces an offense to account for him, opening opportunities for teammates and making every snap more complicated for everyone else. And stylistically, with Vrabel leaning into a more aggressive upfield approach, Judon's skill set fits. He understands leverage. He understands how to play the run while still threatening the edge. He understands how to draw attention and still win. Pair that with someone like Christian Barmore, and the math gets uncomfortable for offensive lines fast. Of course, there are obstacles. Waiver priority, competition from other contenders, age, money. None of that is simple, but it's not fantasy either. Judon has made it clear he wants to compete, and the Patriots are competing right now. The bigger question isn't, can he still play? The bigger question is, can this team afford to ignore a proven closer in December? And while we're talking about legacy and pressure and big moments, there's one name holding this entire thing together, because in the middle of injuries, rumors, and chaos, the Patriots still have something most teams would do anything for. Drake Maye is that anchor. And the conversation that used to feel like a fan dream is now sitting in reality. He's in the MVP discussion. Not because it sounds cool, because the season demands it. The numbers are strong, over 70% completions, 3,567 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. And this team is 11-3 through 14 games. That's not a nice story. That's a contender profile. But what really jumps off the screen isn't just the stat line, it's the control, the calm, the way Maye dictates rhythm, even when the game starts to pull away from the script. And when he was asked about MVP, he gave the answer you want from the leader of a locker room. He respected the award, but made it clear he's chasing something bigger. Super Bowl over trophies, winning over headlines. That might sound like the typical quarterback response, but with Maye, it doesn't feel rehearsed. It feels like the truth. Here's the reality of the MVP race. It usually comes down to signature wins, big stages, big opponents. And Maye has one of those chances sitting right in front of him. Sunday night in Baltimore against Lamar Jackson, a former MVP, with the entire league watching. If he pulls out that win, his MVP case gets louder instantly. Yes, there are other names in the mix. Josh Allen is always going to be there. Matthew Stafford is in the discussion. But Maye has something voters love, the story. A young quarterback taking a historic franchise and putting it right back on top, faster than most people believe possible. And if the Patriots close strong, especially in the final 2 against the Jets and Dolphins, that MVP debate goes from maybe to how do you deny it. So when you stack everything we covered today, you see a Patriots team being stress tested in real time. The loss hurt, the absences are concerning, but the response has been preparation, depth, and mindset. The team protected itself behind the scenes. The idea of adding a proven veteran is on the table, and the entire thing is being driven by a quarterback who wants rings more than trophies. Nothing is guaranteed, but everything is alive. Now I want to hear from you. Do you trust this group to turn pressure into fuel? If you do, hit like, subscribe, and drop your take in the comments. What would you do if you were Vrabel heading into Baltimore? Join me every day because Patriots Nation can't blink now.